in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady when she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't so.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't so.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't so.
What?
Don't so.
What?
You're so.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the show. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. The Knicks lost last night at MSG to OKC, 135 to 145. We got a lot to talk about, as always. I appreciate all of you rocking with me this morning. Gerald D. McGyver, D's World of Hoop, Canal Ban Lawyer, Jarrell, Salute, D Nice, JJ, King Ribby. Hope I didn't miss Dripmore. Len to Len. I hope I got that right. Angel Torres, Tim Smith. We got a lot to talk about today, but let's get into the setup. The Knicks came into this game 6-6, 7th in the Eastern Conference, 20th in offensive rating, 19th in defensive rating. And let me tell you, every time, after every game, our offensive defensive rating dips like one spot. OKC Thunder came into the game 5-7, 12th in the Western Conference, 26th in offensive rating, 7th in defensive rating. I will say that I did the offensive and defensive ratings maybe a day earlier. So prior to the game, it might have been a little different. The Knicks started their usual starters: Brunson, Reddish, Barrett, Randall, Hartenstein. Mitchell Robinson is still out. Apparently, he's day-to-day. I'm not sure if he's traveling with them on the West Coast trip. If he is, that's a good sign that he might, they think he may be close to playing. For OKC, it was Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Alexev Pokusevsky, I hope I got that right, Lou Dort, and Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Their rookie, Chet Holmgren, has been out for the season. Actually, he hasn't played at all. The Knicks are now, after this loss, 9th in the Eastern Conference, right? 6-7. If the season was to end today, the Knicks would be in the play-in. But look at the 11th and 12th spot, Chicago and Brooklyn. You would have to think that over the course of the season, they're going to play their way into at least the top 10. And that means two of the teams that are in the top 10 will probably drop out. Hopefully it's not the Knicks, but I got to be honest, I'm not very encouraged by the trajectory I see from this team. I think a lot of teams are struggling early on in the Eastern Conference, and the team that gets it together, or the teams that gets it together first, will probably take a stronghold on one of those 10 spots. It's a long season, don't get me wrong. The Knicks are right in there, but I just have some concerns defensively in this loaded Eastern Conference, in which Washington, has gotten, better, right? So let's just get into the individual stats, team stats, and then I'll check in with the chat and see how you're feeling about this game. Reddish was in his bag last night. 26 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, 2 3-pointers. I think he shot almost 60% from the field, 40% from the 3-point line, 100% from the free throw line. He got to the line 4 times. He was very aggressive, very assertive, and I liked his shot selection. To me, Cam Reddish is at his best going to the basket, and that's what he did. And he's a thin guy, but he's strong. Like you see, he's able to absorb contact and still make the layup. He did that a few times. So I really like it. He's a dog. You can see the fight in him. during that game. Yeah, we'll talk about Cam some more in the player spotlight segment. But I really liked what I um, saw from him. Randall, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 threes. He shot 50% from the field, 50% from the 3-point line. Went to the line 10 times, hit 8 of them. I don't have a lot of complaints about Randall tonight. Um, I don't know if the chat may have some complaints. I don't think any of the Knicks played well defensively, especially team defense. But I saw some fight in Randall as well. He played mostly in the post, which I like. I mean, he did take 6 3-pointers, but I saw him in the post a lot. I saw him fighting, underneath the boards, trying to get us second chance points. No complaints from Randall. IQ came in off the bench, 25 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, shot 45% from the field, went to the line 8 times. That means he was aggressive and taking good shots. Usually, if you're taking fallaways and you're taking poor shots, you're not going to get those calls. But he went to the line 8 times and hit 7 of them, and he did not have any turnovers. I mean, I've talked about this before, but when you get an opportunity, follow Emmanuel quickly on a defensive possession. I mean, his defense is really good. His defensive IQ is really good as well. Like I saw him guard his guy. His player passed the ball. That person, of course, beat their guy off the dribble. He rotated over to stop the drive. The person picked the ball, the player picked the ball up, passed it back to his guy for the shot, and quickly was able to get back for the contest. I mean, I know some of the fan base think he's not a good defensive player, but his defensive IQ is really good. Like he knows where he's supposed to be. I just think he's just not, very big. He's 6'3", but he does have the long arms. He has gotten stronger. I really appreciate him on on the defensive end. I'm gonna get to the chat. I see you, Delano Steele. Um, Brunson, 17 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover, shot 55% from the field, only played 24 minutes. I mean, listen, statistically, in his limited minutes, he did well. I'll have to go back and look at this game again, though I really don't want to. He just didn't stand out. He just didn't stand out to me. I could be wrong. The Knicks had 6 players in double figures. Again, offense wasn't the problem. They shot 49.5% from the field, 32.3% from the 3-point line. Only took 31. I mean, for the Knicks, I think that's kind of low for the Knicks. I have to check that. OKC, Gildress Alexander, this was his own personal playground, basically. 37 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Started off relatively slow, I thought, but still had 14 points. you know, um, he did his thing. It didn't really matter who you put on him. He was just making shots. Um, Giddy, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 3-pointers. Dort, 24 points, 3 rebounds, a block, 2 3-pointers. Robinson Earl, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 3 3-pointers. They had 5 in double figures. They shot 62.5% from the field, which is a season record for them. I don't even know if it might even be a team record, right? Organizational record. I'm not sure about that. And they shot 54.8% from the 3-point line. They came in ranked 29th in 3-point percentage. They took 31 3-point shots. They hit 17. Knicks took the same. 31 only hit 10. That wound up being the difference in the game. Let me just get to these next few, and then I'll check in with the chat. RJ, it was just one of those games for RJ. I think he had 4. I didn't even write it down. I think he had like 4 points. He wasn't good offensively. He wasn't good defensively. He was missing at the rim. I thought it was one of his worst games defensively. Now, him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they both Canadians. They both play on the Canadian national team. Maybe he was pressing a little bit. He definitely was up for the challenge. I appreciate that about RJ Barrett, like wanting to guard him. But he just didn't do a good job. He picked up 3 fouls relatively early, came back in the third quarter, picked up his fourth foul with like 2 minutes left. Excuse me, 2 minutes into the third quarter, and then we didn't see him again. That part, listen, players are going to have bad games, right? I still would have liked to have seen RJ Barrett come back in that third quarter. You know, maybe sitting on the bench, going into halftime, having to sit on the bench for as long as he did, maybe there would have been something different about him had he returned to the game. That being said, the Knicks weren't struggling offensively. It was defensively, and I'm not quite sure how much he could have helped us there, but I still would have liked to have seen him come back in the game. Obi with 10, iHeart 14 and 7 rebounds, Rose 7 points, 4 assists, Sims 8 points, 8 rebounds. Again, offense was not the issue for the Knicks in this game. Let me check in with the chat before I get to my um, observations. Shy Gunner, Queen, I disagree. The OKC starters had 114 points scored, and the Knicks starters had 88 points. And we have 100 million guys. That's terrible. I mean, listen, had RJ came back in the game, would he have scored more? Probably. Had Brunson came back in the game, would he have scored more? Probably. I mean, it's not about our starters versus their starters. It's about team versus team. And I think our bench came in and gave us some good minutes. That may have been why Brunson didn't get back in the game, because IQ was basically balling, having a good game. So I don't know about that, but I appreciate that point. Ajay, appreciate you. Hope all is well with you and your family. Salute, Queen. We have to face reality. RJ is not the guy. Love the kid. He's a hard worker and he is very dedicated. I come to the conclusion, some of us sooner than others, that RJ is not a star or superstar in this league. Okay, fine. But he's still a very good player. And if the Knicks are going to do anything this season, we're going to need RJ Barrett. We just are. Um, Salute, Shot Powers. Appreciate you. Paris Duggar, relax. RJ Barrett would get a scholarship in college, and he's an NBA athlete. Listen, how athletic is Giddy? How athletic is Shy Gilgris Alexander? How athletic is Luka Doncic? I don't think you have to be athletic to be effective in this league. You just have to be good. You got to have something you could hang your hat on, right? A good 3-point shooter. Luka with his fadeaways on the left side off of 1 foot. It's not about your athleticism, it's about your game. How athletic is James Harden, right? It's about being a talented player, being able to know what you can and cannot do, being able to get to your spots and be efficient or proficient from those spots. Right now, I'll have to look at it again, but RJ Barrett's shots are at the rim and, are pretty much, I think, at the rim and the 3-point line. I have to look at his frequency again, but if those are your shots, okay, that's fine, but you got to be proficient from those spots. And that's what the good ones do. They don't shoot from all, I mean, there's a few of them that could shoot from anywhere of the court, but most of them, they have their spots. They're able to get to their spots no matter who's guarding them, and they're able to knock them down. So to me, it's not about athleticism with RJ. It's about him. You want to go to the rim. You're strong enough to go to the rim. You need to hit from the rim. I believe overall he's doing much better this season than last season. But that's the issue for me with RJ Barrett. Building blocks. Isn't this what the fans wanted, to bench players when they are not playing well? Okay. JJ, appreciate you. Hope all is well with you and your family. The story of RJ, great one game, terrible the next. But that's been the story with the Knicks, right? Other than that 3 game winning streak early in the season, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Jarrell, we're going to get into that. Washington Generals defense. JJ, I don't see this team being above 500 again this season. We stink. And listen, we going on a 5 game West Coast trip. We might. I mean, I think we'll win, one or two, but we could go 0-5. And then you have to dig yourself out of that hole. Okay. Building blocks, Rose directive. New York Knicks obviously trying to play Fournier now so they can justify benching him soon. It's going to happen. They are showcasing him for a trade soon, or they're going to make him situation. I agree. Um, I agree. I think he will be situational and out of the rotation. I don't think they have to showcase him though. I think teams around the league know what he is and what he's not at this point um, in his career. But I do agree that there needs to be. I think that rotation needs to be tightened up a little bit. Um, D roll the hoop. Brunson was solid stuff. No reason why he sat so long. Yeah, I definitely thought that. Well, when Barrett, Brunson, and RJ was sitting, I thought, you know what? Thibs saw enough of them, and he's going with the bench because they're playing well. Then Randall came back in. And I said, okay, then. I think with like 6 minutes left. I said, okay. And maybe, the guys who are playing, maybe they're not used to playing those minutes. Maybe they needed a rest, whatever. I was expecting Brunson and RJ to come back in the game. I was. Um, Brunson statistically, played well in his, 24, 23 minutes, whatever he played. RJ did not. But again, we didn't need offensive help. We needed defensive help. But I get it. Maybe bringing them back, maybe there could have been a spark. Maybe things would have changed. Maybe having sitting on the bench and just seeing with your own eyes how atrocious the defense is. Maybe putting them back in the game, they would have dug in um, a little bit. Delano Still Jr. Salute, Jarrell. I'm just to clarify my position. You deserve better. Sharice Duncan, appreciate you. Cam and IQ is our key defenders on this team. Yeah, I think IQ's defense is underrated, and we already seen that Cam's defense has been pretty good. JJ, I like to see a lineup with Quickly, Grimes, and Cam could be a good perimeter defensive team. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Quickly would start. But like you said, a lineup, but I would like to see a starting lineup. And I'm ready for the tomatoes. But I would like to see a starting lineup of Brunson, Grimes, if he can stay healthy, and Cam, and bring RJ off the bench. He can get the same amount of minutes. Just bring him off the bench. And this lineup you're talking about with Quickly, Grimes, and Cam, I'd like to see that lineup as well. I think we're going to have to prioritize the minutes toward those who are playing defense. So yeah, I'm with you, JJ. Yeah, Shy Powers. I'm not so on RJ not being good, but did you see how they attack Randall hard? I didn't notice that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think Randall's on ball defense is okay. I think his help defense is something to be desired. White Falcon 44, appreciate you. Release Rolls, fire Thibs. Thanks, but gotta go, gotta go. IQ backup point guard and hire Steve Nash for sure. That's RJ's godfather. Brunson has his. I hear you, but I don't think Brunson is playing well because his godfather is on the team. And I don't think Steve Nash coaching the team is going to unlock something in RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has had every opportunity. He started every game of his career, probably except one. He's had a very long runway. So I'm not um I'm not I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, let's get into my game observations. And I'm looking forward to hear what you guys have to say about this. As far as the flow of the game, there was only one game change. The game lead change. I'm sorry. The game was tied 3 times. The largest lead the Knicks had was 13. Probably it had to be in the first quarter. It definitely the first half. The largest lead OKC had was 19. Like I said prior, OKC shot a season high 62.5% from the field. The Knicks started the game splendidly, right? They moved the ball, they moved their body, they scored 48 points in the first quarter, which was the most points scored in the first quarter in Knicks history, right? They scored 135 points on the seventh ranked defensive team. They shot 49.5% from the field. Didn't shoot great from 3-point line, 32.5%, but to their credit, they wasn't jacking them up either, right? 31 of them. They outscored OKC in the paint and second chance points and fast break points. They out rebounded them. They won the turnover battle. Offense was not the issue. Moving the ball was not the issue. Defense and heart, in my opinion, or lack thereof, was the issue with the Knicks. Um, the perimeter defense is hitting like critical levels right now. Right? We've seen it. We've seen it, but it seems like game after game, it gets worse and worse. And I think that, you know, teams have to be talking about it. It has to be part of their game plan. Put the three up. You're not going to get a lot of resistance um, from the Knicks. They shot 50, they shot 55% from three for a team that came in ranked 29th in 3-point percentage, right? Just no resistance defensively. Is it schemes? Is it something Thibs can do to change or simplify our defense? And I say simplify because some of these players, their defensive IQ is not very high, to say the least. Is it personnel? Do we need more changes in that starting lineup? More changes in the rotation? I'm okay if Fournier is situational. I'm okay if Rose doesn't play, right? And quickly gets more minutes as the backup one and the backup two. Sometimes you just have to shorten the rotation. And I'm not saying Rose has been terrible. I mean, he gave us some good minutes in that first half. He came in instead of forcing the ball, 4 assists, right? I thought he played well in the first half. I thought he forced it a little bit in the second half. Sometimes I just think he's trying to do um, too much. I think, as far as our defense is concerned, when returns, I think it will make a difference. But I don't think the Knicks we're not getting killed in the paint. We're getting killed on the perimeter, on the 3-point line. I'm not sure. Mitch is not going to help us there. I would have liked to see, like in games like this, sometimes you just got to throw darts. You got to throw darts and just see if something sticks, right? I would have liked to have seen Thibs try different things, right? I would have liked to have seen RJ come back in the game. I would have liked to have seen Brunson come back in the game. I would have liked to have seen McBride come in. Just see, like games like this, when nothing seems to be working defensively, just see. Um, I would have liked to have seen a lineup of McBride, Grimes, Cam, Randall. Not that his 3-point, his defense is great, but I thought offensively, he was well. He's playing well, and I think his defense is a little bit better than Obi's, but we can argue that point. So I would have liked to see McBride, Grimes, Cam, Randall, and Sims. Just see, throw darts at it and see. But what do you do when your offense is running well and you don't really have a lot of defensive options? Like, what do you do? Um, I've been in a situation where you in your head, like, I should put this person in. Nah, he's not a good defensive. I should put Naim. He's not a good defense. Sometimes you just got to throw it out there. And sometimes players will surprise you. Sometimes they'll turn it around in the second half. So yeah, there's some different things I would have liked to have seen. Would they have worked? Who knows? Who knows? But I would have liked to have seen it. I know Tibbs. I didn't get a chance to see his full press conference, but he did say when they were asked about RJ, he just felt like the team that was in there had it going, so he wanted to leave them in, and they did have it going offensively, but nobody had it going defensively. And like I said, it's at critical levels, and it's performances like this that get a coach fired. That's what it is. Now, I think there's enough blame to go around, starting with the front office and the construction of this roster, Tibbs himself, the players. There's enough blame to go around, but it's easier to fire the coach. So I'm not sure if the Knicks go 0-5 on this West Coast trip. Tibbs may be out of here, you know. And you know what? At this point, I'm okay with it. Maybe another coach. I don't know if they'll probably move somebody up on the bench. It'll probably be Johnny Bryant. Maybe they're tired of listening to Tibbs' voice. Maybe it's not landing the same way it was landing the first few years. Maybe Johnny Bryant, a new voice, a fresh voice, maybe making some changes defensively will be able to get a little bit more out of this roster. But still, I don't care who the coach is. In this Eastern Conference, I don't see the Knicks being much better than a 500 team. It's just they're not playing well defensively, but the talent is just not there. For this team to be successful, they have to gel. It's going to have to be a chemistry thing. It's going to have to be a defensive thing, or somebody's going to have to take a major leap, right? Otherwise, I just don't think the talent is there on this team to be much more than 500. And some fans would say not even, right? Not even 500. Let me check in with the chat. Shotgun, appreciate you. Queen, after that game, RJ didn't make you a little upset? Not going at SGA, like not doing, he is coleslaw. He just there. I think he accepted the challenge because I believe he was on SGA in the beginning, right? I think he tried to be aggressive. He went to the rim. It just wasn't falling. I think SGA is just blossoming, right? He may not be a star yet, but he is blossoming. And this is what I mean when we talk about, oh, so-and-so has only been in the league 4 years. Look at Jimmy. Like Jimmy Butler is like the anomaly. Usually in your first 4 years, you show some signs, right? And that's what we're getting from SGA. He may not be a star yet, but you've seen the signs, right? Last year, you saw signs. This year, he's taken his game to another level. You see more signs, right? RJ had a bad game. White Falcon, we got talent. Tibbs' head is all over the place. I think we listen, we're not scrubs. We have some talent. I just don't think our talent matches up with a lot of the talent in the Eastern Conference. Knicks for life. SGA is different. Yeah, he is. Quality jumper, just under 500 is our ceiling right now. We need to add some defenders. No doubt about it. D Nice, 7-7. No matter who we draft, they're never considered the best player on the court when we play games. Yeah. I mean, I think Queen, they had one superstar and got smoked. I wouldn't even consider SGA a superstar. But listen, when you're not defending, you're going to make players look better than they are. Now, I'm not saying this as far as SGA. He's that guy. Like, I really think that he's on his way to being a star in this league. But if there's no resistance and you got talent, you're going to be able to score in the Knicks. Lou Dort was not. How much did Lou Dort have? Like 24 points or something like that? He's not. That's not what he was averaging. Yeah, 24 points. That wasn't his average coming into the game. Robinson Earl, their center, 17 points. That wasn't his average coming into the game. Giddy is good, but they gave up a triple-double. I just think when you don't play good defense, this is what happens. This is what happens. White Falcon said Tibbs don't want to do right. Um, Knicks for life. We don't have elite talent at key positions. Dimes and Knicks, appreciate you. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's way too early, but I've been on Tankathon a couple of times. Oh God. Um, Jeff Clafter, our D should not be this porous. I mean, who's our good perimeter? Who's our good defenders on this team? IQ, Grimes, Cam, Mitch. Who are our good defenders on this team? And everybody talks about team defense. That's true. You may not be good individual defenders, but at least rotate and get to your spots. I question the defensive IQ on some of these players. Like some of this stuff is just basic. Um, Grimes gets cooked. Listen, Grimes got cooked as well. No doubt about it. But he's still, in my opinion, one of our best perimeter um defenders. Oh, Deuce as well. Yep, Deuce as well. It is worse without Mitch. Yep. Delano Still. Lou Dort is the Thunder version of Draymond Green. No way another triple single player comes in MSG and makes a name. We deserve better. Yeah. D-Nice 77. So our mid three are the worst defenders on the team, along with Fournier. Got it. Yeah. 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 I think there's one other thing I do wanna say. Um, and that is I think the Knicks are soft. Or at least they look soft last night. Like there's just no fight in this team. Nobody, I mean, they didn't show the bench, but nobody on the bench getting into players like, holding themselves accountable. And listen, maybe they're doing that in the locker room. Maybe there was a fight after the game. But in the game, it just seems like la da da da, like, whatever happens, no hard fouls, no, let me at least put them to the line, like nothing. I think the Knicks just have a bunch of nice guys. They just have a bunch of nice guys. And we need we need tough guys on this team, and we don't have it. Randall meditating and shit. I mean, I appreciate that for him. I think it keeps him calm. It keeps him present, and we need that. But we also need him and others to be able to get in other people's faces. Be able to not just on a misrotation point and be like, yo, what's going on? Be like, no, you were supposed to be there. Like, I don't see that in this team. I don't see a lot of fight in this team. And you're going to need that. In the NBA, you're going to need that, especially if you're not talented. You got to be dogs. You got to have a bunch of dogs when you're not the most talented team. I'm not saying we don't have talent, but when you're not the most talented team, you have to be assertive, aggressive, play with force, and we just don't have that. We just don't have that at all. Um, no fight, no talent. That's nasty. Yeah, Real King, appreciate you. Anthony Grant, someone needs to light a match, draw a tech if need be, become more aggressive. Yeah, yeah. Randall is a donut on defense. His team defense for sure. Um, Quality jumper. These players just don't have defensive motors. We have to blow it up. You might be right. You might be right. Um, Jarrell, he's the second one in the chat, already in draft mode. Let me know when you have a draft show in November. Wow. I mean, one thing I'll say, I don't think it's going to continue like this. I think changes are going to be made. Thibs will be fired, major changes in the rotation, some sort of trade to bring in some defensive minded players. Um, I think, I think I think there'll be some changes. I think there'll be some changes. All right, let's talk a little bit about Cam Reddish, a little more about him. Last night in 32 minutes, 26 points, 3 rebounds, 4 steals. Like I said, 60% from the field, took 17 shots, right? Prior to this game, he was taking like 3 shots, 4 shots, shot 40% from the 3-point line, took 5 3-pointers, hit 2 of them, went to the line 4 times, hit all 4 of them. Like we talked about, he was very aggressive today. I don't know if Grimes coming in, getting his little spot minutes in the rotation is lighting a fire under him. Whatever it is, I'll take it. We don't have many. How many two-way players do we have on this team? Right? So I'm hoping this is something that continues. Like we've seen it, right? A player have a good game, and then disappear for the next 2, 3 games or what have you. So I'm hoping that this is not just a good game for Cam. I'm hoping that this is him putting everybody on notice that I'm gonna start shooting on this team. I'm gonna start taking the ball to the basket on this team. I'm going to start asserting myself offensively on this team. Right? And there's room for him to do it. Now, RJ Barrett went out early because RJ Barrett takes a lot of shots, right? So that may have helped, right? Him feeling that, RJ Barrett is out, I have to step up. I have to take, more shots on this team. But even with RJ Barrett in there, I'm okay with RJ Barrett, Randall taking less shot, Cam taking more shots, as long as it's the right shot. Like when Cam is just bringing the ball up the court and pulling up, I don't really like that shot. But when he's going to the basket and when he's hitting those threes off the catch, I'm all in, on Cam. So I'm hopeful that that's something that um he'll do. What's your thoughts on peace a la wise? What's your thoughts on Cam? Do you think this is his coming out party, or you think this is just a flash and he's gonna go back um to being Cam? The Cam that we've seen the last few games. Shout out to Jay Boogie. We do not have a voice on this squad. Golden State, Draymond Green, Boston, Marcus Smart. Nobody is in nobody's face. Everybody is cool. Where is the fire? And that's exactly what I was talking about. The Knicks look soft. The Knicks look soft. It's just too many nice guys on this team. Nobody is in another person. Yo, you missed that rotation. Nobody wants to, and listen, the play obviously is going to come back at you, but you got to be up for that. It's just too much. Well, this is what it is. This game will be better the next game. Yeah, okay. Pudge Nice, Cam is the official small forward. It definitely looks that way. Paris Duggar, Cam does not stink. But he was a competitor last night. Real King, Cam already got the defense. Make a concerted effort to get him the ball. Well, he gets his touches in the flow of the offense when the Knicks are moving the ball and moving themselves. In the past few games, they have been. He gets his touches. It's just when you get your touch, what are you going to do with it, right? Cam is one of those. He knows how to play the game. He's a high IQ, one of the high IQ players we have, offensively and defensively, right? So for the most part, if he doesn't have it, he's going to pass it on, right? That's how you play basketball, right? When he does have it, he's going to take it. But there are some times, I agree with you, if what you're saying is that he's passing it when there's an opportunity for him to drive, then I agree with him. When he has the ball in his hand, it's on you. You're going to take it or you're going to pass it off. Jeff Clafter, no consistency with Cam. I get that. But again, I think he understood that his role was defense. But I think now he's realizing there's room for him on the offensive end as well. Should IQ start at point guard? No, I don't think so. I know not. Um, but should he be the backup point guard, take the point guard minutes and the shooting guard minutes that he's been getting? Maybe, maybe. D Nice 77, I agree. Hard to be consistent when they just started moving the ball. I mean, I think they were moving the ball early in the season. There was like 2 or 3 games when they stopped moving the ball, and I think they've been back to it against Detroit and OKC, moving the ball. Josh, Uncle Fulio, appreciate you. Hope all is well with you and your fam. Most people that are complaining now were the same ones that were okay with the off season. I don't know why people thought we were going to be better than mediocre. I agree with that in terms of 6 and 7, but did we think our defense would be this alarming? I don't know if I thought that. You know, I thought we didn't have good shooting. There were some concerns definitely about Brunson and Fournier. As far as us being 6 and 7, I think a lot of us would have took that. Looking at our schedule, would have thought, yeah, that's about right. But I think it's how it's happening. I think it's how it's happening. Um, yep. Randall defensive lapses caused us the game. Mm, yeah, I agree with the defensive lapses. I don't know if it was just him alone that caused us the game, but I do agree with that. Randall's defense, shaking my head. If you get a chance, watch his defense. I do. I do. Um, off the off the ball is just not good. It's just not. Shy Gunner, IQ got GMs calling because they're smart. I would like to keep I would like to keep IQ. Nick Yak, appreciate you. Fans are a joke. Want it run and gun, then ask why we giving up so many points. All high scoring teams give up big points. I mean, yeah, I think if your pace is up, you're running a lot, there's more possessions, there's more opportunities for you to score, more opportunities for the other team to score. I get that. But just looking at the game itself, looking at each possession and just looking at how easily teams score, I think that's the issue. Dwayne Dennis, the next 12 games are going to be really tough games. They're not going to be easy W's, with the exception of the Pistons. If it wasn't for the Pistons, right? They'll play them 3 times by November 29th. They can possibly lose 11 games if they continue not playing defense. Yeah, yeah. Shagana, Wild Queen. IQ should be the starting point guard. Brunson is not a difference maker unless we're playing the Kings. Let's stop. Let's stop. Let's stop. Okay. Because when you're talking about what do you mean not being a difference maker? You think if you put IQ in the starting lineup that this team would be different? Do you think if you put IQ in the starting lineup, our defense would be different? Our defense might be a little different. But do you think overall our defensive rating would be better, that we would have won more games with IQ in the starting lineup? I just disagree. I just don't think, IQ is definitely getting better in terms of his decision making, right? He's definitely getting better. But Brunson, that's just who he is. We don't even have to think about, well, I hope IQ's decision making is on tonight. I hope he's, able to, differentiate between when he should go for his and when he should set the team up. Right. You don't have those concerns with Brunson. So I just think that Brunson is a better overall player than IQ, in my opinion. And I think he's a better point guard than IQ. However, I do think IQ should get more minutes. I like his defense. I like the way he's playing as of late. I'm not down on IQ right now. I just don't think he should be the starting point guard over Brunson. Bayside Jr., start at Q, and bench RJ. Um, Nick get quickly over Brunson is ridiculous. One 49% and 8 assists. The other one 39% and 3 assists. Yeah. Yeah. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. When the cat is away, the mice will play. Talking about Mitch. Hashtag blocks monster. Hashtag Clydism. Hashtag peace queen. Peace. I think Mitch would. So we're not getting beat going to the basket. So I get it. Like when teams drive to the basket, Mitch is going to step up. He's going to force them to pass out. And then where's our perimeter defense going to be? Um, you know, Cam and 2 force offense from wing. Quickly, Brunson, Randall don't pass to wing. Watch the games. Brunson and Randall don't pass to the wings. Watch the game. I don't know about that, but I will. I will, I will look. I will look for that. All right. Let's move on. Team stats. Like I said, really? Do I have that right? I don't know if I have that right. Let me just look at that quick. Okay, yeah. Okay. So the Knicks were I have to amend that. I said earlier that the Knicks out rebounded OKC. They did not. OKC out rebounded the Knicks by 3. 25 assists for the Knicks to OKC's 31. 13 steals to 9. The Knicks had 2 blocks. The Knicks only turned the ball over 13 times, right? The Knicks shot 50% from the field, shot 87.9% from the free throw line, but field goal percentage, you shot 49.5%, which is good. They shot 62.5. You shot 32.3%, which is not that great, not terrible, not that great. They shot 55%. Whatever you could do, we could do better. The Knicks shot 87.9% from the free throw line. They shot 90%, right? The Knicks, had a slight edge in points in the paint, 10-point edge in second chance points, and they were tied in fast break points. If you ask me, the 3-point shot made the difference, and just how easily they were able to score in this game. All right. Next up, I'll check in with the chat in a little bit, is the Utah Jazz, which is Tuesday night. The Knicks right now are 6-7, 9th in the Eastern Conference. Out of their last 10 games, they're 4-5, lost 1, right, to OKC. Offensive rating 17th, defensive rating down to 24, right? Defensive rating every game. It levels out, right? So in the beginning, it was like, oh, it's not that bad. I don't know, what was it, 11, 12? But now, the bigger the sample size, the more you get a chance to see what the Knicks defense really is, and it's showing in the stats. 24th out of 30 teams in defensive rating. Utah Jazz, 10-4, surprising 10-4, right? 4th in the Western Conference, 6-4 over their last 10. They lost their last 2. So that can mean that, they're hitting a rush patch, and the Knicks have an opportunity to go in and get one because they lost their last 2. Or it can also mean that they're on alert. They lost 2. They have to stop the slide. Everybody is going to be ready to play, right? I think it's going to be a tough game for New York in Utah, right? They're 4th in offensive rating and 8th in defensive rating. So this is a top 10 team in both offense and defense that the Knicks have to play. I don't know if there's going to be any changes for the Knicks. If not, it'll be Brunson, Reddish, Barrett, Randall, and Hartenstein. I'm not sure if they make it. I don't even know what changes to make. I don't even know what changes to make, actually. Put it in the chat what's your starting lineup against Utah? Do you keep it the same? What would you do? For them is Mike Conley, Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, Olenek, and Vanderbilt. Right, Markkanen is having a phenomenal season for them. Right, he came over in the Where did he play last season? Cleveland. Yeah, he came over in the trade for Donovan Mitchell, and he's playing lights out for them. So that's our next game. All right. Shotgunner Queen, I'll answer because the playoff teams we've been playing so far, he's a no-show. Hawks exposed the Knicks game plan, keep them out of the paint, force them to beat us with jump shots, and we failed. Okay. Pudge Nice would start Brunson, Grimes, Cam, Jules, and Sims. Okay. Silver Surfer, Brunson, the reason team scoring so much. Just Brunson? You think it's just Brunson? You don't think RJ Randall has something to do with that? Mm-hmm. Okay, we did that. Jeff, we are stopping people anyway. Yeah. RJ off the bench. I'm okay with that. But again, we still need him offensively. So, starting him gives you a bit more perimeter defense up front to start the games. But I don't know. He's still going to play, right? Defense is a team thing. Everyone is at fault. Yeah, no doubt about it. Good morning, Sharon. We're about to be out of here, but I appreciate you joining us. Yeah, I mean, that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have. Tonight, Queen's Court on Nothing But Knicks channel. If you're available at 8 o'clock, join us. We'll be talking about these last week's games with a panel, actually. So 8 p.m. tonight on the Queen's Court. Tuesday, 3:30, I'll be back on the Nothing But Knicks for the game preview against Utah. And then I'll be back here Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock for the morning recap. Let me just shout out a few people before we Jeff Clafter said, thanks for the show. I know it's not fun to talk about. It's not. But the two things that came out of this game is our defense is at a critical level. The Knicks look soft to me. No fight. And I don't think Thibs is making it through the season. Peace to Geraldine, MacGyver, Pudge Nice, Real King, Nick Yak, Jarrell, Silver Surfer, Dwayne Dennis. I may not get to everybody. Baysider Jr., Jeff Clafter, Nick Yak, Pudge Nice, Jarrell. I might even say some of you twice. Shy Gunner, I appreciate you. Diamond's our girl best friend. Appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit that notification button so you'll be notified anytime I go live. Soul Finger 12. I appreciate you. On the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. So I know it's early out there. I appreciate you. Okay. I'm going to have to get some moderators in here as well. White Falcon 44. I think I add J, D Nice, D's World of Hoop, and D Nice. Paris Doug, I appreciate you. Josh, everybody, I appreciate you for rocking with me. Again, Queen's Court tonight, 8 p.m., Nothing But Knicks. And then I'll be back here Wednesday morning to break down the Utah game.
Sister, you're one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Don't talk.
Where you at?
Don't talk.